take this the staples off so that I could get this cover removed, I have this really cute vintage screwdriver that has, I love this. We're gonna do this in our trash and treasure. And so this little other screwdriver comes out, but this little rough texture is kind of rough on my hand, so I'm not gonna be using that one. I'll set you over there and save you for another time. So this one's a little bit easier on my hand. I've got a pair of wire snips and a pair of needle noses to get these staples out. So we'll just pry in. Oh, there we go. Some of them are a little hard. I got those staples in really good. I recovered this chair probably in the late 70s, no, middle 70s, so hence the orange fabric. Get those staples pulled so I can get a hold of them with my needle nose. And then catch them up so they don't get on the floor, and then if I walk barefoot, I don't wind up with them in my feet. So this still has the original cover on there. I'll go in the trash can. And it's pretty ugly and pretty worn, and you can see that the horsehair and the straw, and I don't know that it's horsehair, the burlap and the straw, and that's all going to need to be replaced. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip this on around and get the rest of these staples out. Tip this over a little bit. You're not going to be able to see from here, so just trust me, and I'll be back when I get that done. All right, I have all of the bottom staples removed, but there is this little edge right here that has a little cord in it, and that has also been stapled down. Right there you can see the staples, and you can see that lovely brown cover. This is going to have to be removed also. So again, I'm not going to have you watch me do all of this, and actually I probably can just do that to remove this area. That's going to be easy. And then the seat, the cover itself, and I'll save all of my pieces as a pattern for my new cover. Get that started. That one on out. And there we go. And I did no, it's actually on the spot of where that other cord was right there. I probably could do this without putting that cord treatment in there, and I may do that. All right, I'll be back. It is amazing to me how dirty that old upholstery is. You can see all that dirt that's come out of there, and I haven't even gotten into the main seat or the original cover. I have the orange seat cover removed. Now I'm going to remove this back part. Look at these wonderful vintage tacks. Oh, you can't see it like that. Let me do this and zoom in a little bit and turn this, tip this down. Those are so cool. I don't know that I'd be able to save any of those, but they're really cool. Okay, here we go. I'm going to use screwdriver, and they pop right out, and they're so bent. That one's straight. I still don't think that there's enough to do anything with, so I don't know what I'll do with those. There's a bunch to remove. I'm gonna just pry up from the edges, give a little pinch. I'm not cutting the thing off, just using this to pry it up. That one's really bent. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. I'll be back. Okay, all the tacks are off and all the staples removed from here, so I'll take this off. I'm going to be sure and save this and use this as the pattern. I'll set that to the side, and so now this part gets to come off. So it's the same sort of thing. It's just popping those staples up, grabbing them with the needle nose pliers, pulling them out, so we can get down to that original backing and do the same thing there. So here it is, in all of its radiant beauty, fixing to be transformed. Now, I love stories, and this story, I'm not going to tell the whole thing here, but it was purchased. My daddy took me to my first auction, 1974. We had lost a little baby girl that I had carried full term. She died when she was born. And so as a distraction or just a little act of love, my daddy took me to this auction and we purchased this chair. Okay, well, it's taken me just a little bit. I had to get out hammer and chisel to get some of the tacks out of there, and I still need to do the back of the seat, or the back of the chair, but here is the seat, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of that stuff and start all over. The springs are good, so that is good news. So there she is. She's all uncovered. And she was a nasty mess. Look at all that dirt and debris that came out of there. I have a trash sack full of stuff that came off. Anyway, so now I'm going to kind of clean her up a little bit. Sand her, give her a little coat of paint on her legs, replace the burlap and the padding, and get her ready to recover her or redress her. All right, y'all come back. Okay, I painted the legs, and they've had overnight to dry, so they're probably, hopefully not skin up too easy. The springs are still in really good shape, so I'm going to take this piece of burlap, and this will cover the area so that whenever I put the cotton or the fiber fill or whatever on here, then it won't peek through at the bottom. And the way that they had the original on here was that the raw edge came to the inside, because this is not going to show. And instead of using the tacks like what they had, I am going to use my handy dandy little stapler. And that one didn't stick because I tried to get it into the metal part, so I didn't try to, that's where it went. So I'm going to staple this all around and make sure I'm not the metal of the springs. This little stapler has a safety on the end of it, so unless it's pressed down, it's not going to shoot. You have to press that down, and I like that it has a safety. Okay, turn this. Make sure I have enough over there, and I do. And I'll trim this excess off, but for right now, I'm just going to pull this and staple it. And this is all going to be covered with the upholstery, with the fabric and the batting and all that good stuff, the foam. To the side. Pull that kind of firm, not too tight. It doesn't need to be tight enough to rip it, but just a little snug. Now, disclaimer, I am not a professional upholsterer. I don't have an upholstery business. This is just a DIY upholstery job. Get that kind of smoothed out there. I've got quite a few tacks and stuff in here, so I want to try to avoid those. All right, back to this other side. Make sure I'm still in the camera. It is. All right, so now from the back, want to make sure that I've got that pulled firm, not too tight. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get in here. We'll see if I can get in here, and if I can't, I'll just bring it over a little bit. And I can't, so I'm going to bring it over to the back just a little bit. You know what? I bet I can get it from the front. Let me see if I can get this from the front. Nope. Can't get it from the front, so I'm going to bring it to the back. Just a little bit. And I heard a tap fall. I'm going to have to get that so that I don't want it stepping on it. So now I'm going to go get my scissors and I'm going to trim this excess off, and then we'll put the padding on there. I need to do the back, this part too, so we'll do that and then we'll do the padding. I'm going to do this back part with the burlap, and it doesn't really matter whether it is folded to the inside or to the outside because it's going to be covered up anyway. So I'm just going to start in one corner. I'm going to go ahead and fold it with the edge down. There goes my phone. I'm out of staples, so I'm going to load my staple gun. My stapler ran out of staples, and so I've turned it off. Make sure that it's ka-ching, it's off. Ding ding, it's not going anyplace. So I could unplug it, but there's a black button right here, and I'm gonna release that. This is an Arrow stapler, Arrow brand stapler, and I have Arrow staples. So pull this back, set my staples down in this little trough, and then slide that back in, and it latches back in place. Power back on, and I'm ready to go. And I pull it just a little bit as I go, so it'll provide a firm support across the back. And I'm going to go ahead and catch this this side, the bottom, and I'm going to pull that pretty firm straight down in the center. Staple that, and then I'm going to catch this corner. And that didn't catch, so let's do that again. Pull this across. Let me do this. Okay, and you can't really see what I'm doing right this second, so let me trim off some excess. densified fiber for the seat, and I have some 2-inch thick foam, dense foam for the back. And the reason I'm doing these differently is because it just happens to be what our town has, and I'm not in a big city and I'm impatient. So I didn't want to wait to go to the city to get this. I'm going to go ahead. This is the right length to go to the back. And so I'm just going to put a little staple in the corners to hold it in place. Well, I said I will. Put that down just to kind of hold it in place. All right, and then now I'm going to get my fabric that's going to cover this and get that cut to size, and I'll be back. All right, I have my foam cut to shape, and I have a piece of fiber fill that's cut larger, and I'm going to put this foam in here, and then this fiber fill is going to wrap around to kind of soften the edges of the wood. Hold that foam in place. So let me do one there and wrap this around. There. Same thing here. Smooth that over. See that? So let me bring this over. This is how it looks from the front. I need to do a little bit more smoothing right there, but I think I'm pretty close. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. cording, and that's for another tutorial. And I have stitched it to like 5 inches, several inches extra, and it is right at almost just not quite enough. I did not figure right on my fabric. I got 1.5 yards, and I should have gone ahead and got 2 yards. So I'm going to make sure I find my center. And I think I've measured this a couple of times, and I think if I stretch it really good, then I can go all the way to the edges. So there's my middle. I'm going to come to the middle in here. And I'm going to open this up. And staple right up next to that corded edge. A little bit closer. Let me bring this so you can see. So there's my corded edge right there. I'm getting that staple right up close to that. So then whenever I pull it down, that's the way it's going to look. Okay. To pull down, and I had enough that I can turn this under and staple it to the bottom side and have a smooth edge, which is what I was after. Like that, and you can't see that, but this is what it's going to do. It'll make a smooth edge right here, and then pull back and staple on the bottom side. All right, let me just maybe put one more staple. Right, I don't know if I can get a staple in that corner or not because of my safety. Nope, can't do it. So, here we go. Anyway, so this is ready to pull this little skirt down. So I'll do that. That's how she looks. All right, and so now what we're going to do, see if that's good, good. So I'll wrap this under, tuck this. So I'm going to make a split here so I can fold this up and have a clean edge, and then take this underneath. So let me do that for you. So this is too much fabric to deal with, so I'm going to cut that off a little bit. Let's cut some of this off too. So folding that under. And so that'll finish off like that. All right, and the same thing on the other side. Well, get a hold of it. Get this extra off of here. There was enough back here to fold this one under and pull it to the back. I'm going to start at the front and then work around. So I want to this to tuck under like that. So I'm going to turn the chair upside down again. Oops. Let me see. And I'm going to staple inside. Okay, I've got this part of it done. Now all I have to do is do the back of it, but I think I'm not going to do that today. Ended up pretty nice back here, all the way around. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I'm just about ready to do the back. This wood is so hard, it's been really difficult, and since I'm not a professional. But anyway, I picked up, and I've already torn this Duritz decorative trim today, and it's in this row, and I've measured, I needed 54 inches, so I've cut 54 inches, and I'm fixing to open this up, but I wanted to show you before I tore my package apart. Okay, I had measured off, it was going to be 54 inches, and I gave myself some extra, and I measured off the middle and of the nail head trim and the middle of my back, and I've already put the first nail head in here, and so then I'll scoot down just a little bit, and here's the hole for the next one. These are 7/16 long, and this wood is so incredibly hard because it's so old. I'm trying to get that to go in straight, if it will. Okay, got that one. Let me get down just a little bit further, or let me get over here so you can see. Okay, so I have this one in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and move out to this side. You probably don't need a tutorial on how to hammer a nail. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let me give it a little close-up. Listen, I need to put a little tap in. Let me give you a close-up on that. Looks pretty good. Okay, I've got the nail heads all the way across the top of the back. And so my next step, I want to, so that I don't get this pulled or twisted, I want to go ahead, I've trimmed this, and I want to turn this under, and I'm thinking that my stapler will reach, but I want to pull this smooth and even across here, and then staple this in place on this bottom side. nice and finished. Yay. Let me show you the back of it. There's with the nail heads in the back of it. And again, I'm not a professional. That was that nail head trim. And I'm fixing to go put this in my dressing closet. And I think I'm going to like the way that this looks. We'll see it in there. And then we'll call that a wrap. Okay, here's the chair in its little spot that's in my closet in my bedroom. And I've got a vintage tablecloth hanging there. And and I've got those gray walls and the dark gray legs on the chair. I've got dark gray, the same dark gray on my drawers. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope this helped.